All right. Hello. Welcome to my ever messy work studio. My name is Keeks, and today we're going to be talking about Inga Buividavice and her watercolor books. And I'm sorry if it's a little loud here. Family house, so you will hear children, you will hear everybody. Um, but I just thought that it would be really fun to go over these today. So give me 1 second to make sure that my live stream is doing what it's supposed to do. And it looks like it is. So first I thought we would talk about Inga Buividavice's books. So this is the first book, and you can get all three of the books I'm going to show you on Amazon. So this one's called Painting Calm, and I like this one because she goes through tutorials on how to paint different plants. So whenever I open this up, you'll see that there's lots of beautiful, beautiful watercolor pictures, and like every single page is amazing. And I will say her style is very fun to follow. She likes to do kind of mandala styles where there's like a center and then it kind of spreads out. That's something that she is known for in some of her books. Um, but yeah, so getting started with watercolors, she goes through all that with you, what kind of brushes to use, how to do wet on dry or wet on wet. Um, And I like that it has, instead of like edited pictures of what watercolor looks like, I like that you can actually see like the bloom of the water. I think that's really pretty. So I like that a lot. And she talks about glazing effects, pulling, lifting, exploration, so like planets. Um, let's see what else we've got here. Some pretty mushrooms that she did, which you can tell are just like blobs of watercolor, which is really cool. Be inspired by nature. Like I love this with all the little acorns and stuff. It's very cute. Cactuses, just all kinds of different stuff. Insects. This one kind of almost looks like a spotted lanternfly. Different types of effects on leaves. Just all kinds of beautiful nature. And I really love the colors that she uses. She uses very distinct color palettes. Um, she talks about how geometry works really well with what you're doing, and about how the X composition, the S curve, triangle, moon. And then she's got little projects in each book. So this one's a project on foliage and about how to decide what color palettes to use for it. So this is actually an exercise that I did a couple of times. So I brought out my watercolor journal. This is my old watercolor journal, and in it, I actually did this exercise twice. I did it with fire, and then I did it with a color card 210 um, from the giant box of color blocks. Hi, Marty. How you doing? How are you this evening? I am just I am going over a book by Inga Buividavice. She's a watercolor artist. And then after I show you these three books, I'm gonna probably be watercoloring today. But this is one of the exercises that I did in the book, which is the leaf mandala. So it's really cool. So what you do is you start in the very middle, and then you just kind of alternate your colors, and the water will run into each other. And so it makes these like really cool markings on it. And then you can go back later with like a white Posca, a white gel pen, whatever you want to do. And then not in all the leaves, but on some of them, put the little lines for the leaves. And it's really cool. So I really enjoyed that. Oops, my dog wants in the room. Let me let her in real quick. Come on in, Rowena. And. Good girl. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Oh no, my book closed. How rude. Um, so there was that mandala one that I was just talking about, and this is what hers looks like when it's done. And then she adds like little dots and stuff to it to kind of give it more of a nature look to it. So that's really cool. And then she talks about how to do different types of trees. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I think today was really nice. This morning we painted in the park, and then my husband caught some fish while I was doing that. Then we came home and did some tidying up, and I've just been relaxing since then. It's been a nice, relaxing Sunday. But yeah, so I would strongly recommend this if you want to learn how to watercolor florals. Inga Buividavice or Buividavice. I'm not really sure what is the proper way to pronounce her name, but it's Inga, Inga Buividavice. I tend to think it's Buividavice, but I'm not sure. So that was her first book. Her second book was How to Paint Animals. So this is Wild Watercolor, and it is also a beautiful book full of wonderful images. Like, look at these moths. Aren't these gorgeous? Like, everything about this book series is beautiful. That snake's really pretty. And you got some birds, a wolf. She does some pages where it's all one color, some monochrome type thing. Chickens, different birds. And once again, all of her books, she teaches you about the supplies that you're going to use. So she just constantly, gradually, like, builds on what you've already learned in her other books. And then she's also got some color theory, how to mix paints. And then once again, she's got projects in here. Yeah, it is almost Zentangle-ish. I think that's one of the reasons why I really like it, because there's a lot of mark making in there. Like, you can see where she's, stopped and tried to put like little dots or whatever you want in there. So it's really nice. And here's some of your projects. You've got a squirrel. Here's a ladybug. Ladybug's really cute. Colorful beetles. I did this one. I'll show you that in a minute. And then the next one is a red panda. I tried to do the red panda and it turned into a cat because I didn't put it in a tree, I put it in the grass. So I just leaned into the cat and turned it into a cat instead. I'll show you that in a minute. Some frogs. I find frogs so difficult to draw, so maybe at some point I'll try to do this. That would be good. Really pretty. A bunny. And what I think is interesting is she doesn't normally draw stuff first. Like, you can kind of see in the directions, like sometimes she draws stuff, but other times she just kind of thinks of the form and just goes for it. And I really respect artists that can do that because I am pants at it. I can't do that at all. On this one, it's kind of cool though because it has collage on it, which adds a little bit of depth so that you can tell that the fish are underneath. Excuse me. My allergies are still bumming me. Flamingos. I did the snake one. The snake one's really interesting because you have to use masking fluid. So that's the reason why I ended up buying masking fluid. Is my masking fluid still good? It looked like it was chunky for a second, but yeah. In some of these you use masking fluid and then afterwards you rub it off, which is really cool. And this is what that one ends up looking like. There's a turtle in here, some lizards. Ooh, that chameleon's really cool there. Some butterflies. I struggle with butterflies, so this would probably be a good one for me as well. Dolphins. Ooh, and look at how magical this dolphin looks. It's inside of a cloud. That's so pretty. A deer. Some bumblebees and some flowers. So she just does a lot of nature-inspired things. So that's that book. And the ones that I've tried out of that book look like this. So this once again is my old watercolor journal from about a year ago. Before I look at that, was there any of them in here? No, that's from a different book. This rhino was inspired by her projects. This is one of her projects. This colorful beetle. Let's see. I think there's one more in here that was inspired by her projects. Here we go. It's these two. Both of these were. So let me put it this way so you can see the snake. This is one of the projects that's in her book. And then this is my red panda that ended up turning into a hiding cat. Because ironically that week I had just rescued an orange kitten. So I imagined that this was the cat's mom and this was the orange kitten. So I ended up turning it into that because sometimes your paints just don't cooperate and turn into something else, especially if it's just kind of heavy on your mind. I don't know if I had any other ones in here that were inspired by her. Let's see. No, not really. But I wanted to bring those out so I could show you that I have done some of her things before. Now, I've had this book since February and I haven't had a chance to actually look at it, so this is really my first time looking at painting landscapes. This book did just freshly come out in February. I'm allergic to bees, but I love them in composition. Yes, they are very pretty. I like how big and fat and fuzzy they are. So we've got the introduction, and she's got some buildings in there. And why should you paint landscapes? Getting your supplies ready again. Ooh, look at that. That's really pretty. Gosh, I hope whatever I watercolor looks as cool as that. Maybe setting myself up here a little bit. That looks really cool. I love that. Very painterly style. Look at these daisies. That's really pretty. So she shows you how to paint a meadow. More color theory, some color studies. So here you're seeing the different palettes she's used. Composition. What a beautiful book. It's like a seascape of some sort. Leading lines, that's interesting. So she's using lines to figure out where to put everything. Have a story, maybe framing. A tonal study. And then we've got our projects. So I'm going to pay attention to this part because I'm going to decide what to do. So this one's water. And she shows you different ways to make it pop. Small waves. Dry brushing water. Ripples. That's beautiful. Mountains. Oh my, that looks really nice. Some snowy mountains. How to do rocky texture. My goodness, do I need to learn how to do that? Carol at My Quiet Corner is awesome at H2O Landscapes. I agree. I love her. I think she's so awesome. We actually recently did an ATC swap, and you know, a couple of weeks ago how she made on the washi tape stickers those circular ones, and then there was the one that had the mountain in the middle of it. She gave me a copy of that one. It was awesome. I have it on one of my sketchbooks. Not the one that I'm going to use today, but one that I use quite literally every day with my Neo colors. It was actually in the one that I sent you a picture of earlier on Instagram. Yes, that's beautiful. Calm Valleys of Scotland. Maybe that's where she's from. That's such a magical looking forest, and I love how it doesn't look like she, like, put any effort in. It's like she just was like, "Yes, be a beautiful forest." Some windy moors of Yorkshire. Trees! Everybody needs help with trees. Trees are difficult. Oh, good. She talks about light source too. That's pretty good. Because I am awful at trees. I try my best, but they just turn out looking like weird sticks with stuff like around them. Like they're not cohesive. Ooh, I love that. That's cool. Ooh, look at this with the blue. That's cool. Oh, that's beautiful. Wonder how she did that. Use masking tape to secure your paperwork surface and masking fluid. Oh, she's using masking fluid for the trees. Okay, that's smart. I like that. Okay. This one in water is a strong contender right now. Greenery of Thailand. Painting clouds. Meadows. Yeah, she's really good at making ATCs. I didn't know what a Twinchie was till I started watching her. And then she talks about the different seasons and how you can play with the colors a little bit. So this one gives us a nice cherry blossom. That's pretty. Yeah. So it's just a beautiful book. But maybe I haven't done anything with masking fluid for quite a while, so that would be pretty cool. Maybe we can do something like that. Yeah, animals and hands are very hard. But keep trying at it because I guess some people like it when people draw bad hands because it looks more stylized. So it could be maybe that's just your style. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just getting I have like a book stand. So I'm just getting my book stand ready so that I can do this because I won't be able to have the book on the table with us. That would be a little hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop up my book thing. Looks good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this sketchbook. So this sketchbook is actually a sketchbook that I handmade from scratch. Like it was literally just book like boards and paper, and I used my own fabric on it, used everything that it needed. So whenever I can, I try to use it on nice projects, and I feel like this will be a nice project because it has paper from arches in it, so it's going to be good for watercolor. I also think I'm going to use my Gansai Tambies to paint this because my Gansai Tambies are going to have the colors that we're going to want in it because it's a very natural palette. So I think that is going to work really nicely. Let's get some clips ready. And then I'm going to get some washi tape. I don't know about you, but I like to actually use washi tape around my edges. That way I get a nice edge like these. So let's see here. Where do we have an empty page? This is empty. We could use this. See, I'm not very good at binding. There's a giant gap there, but it works, so I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to set that there. Give me 1 second to grab some washi tape. Let's use some naturey washi tape. I've got this one that has like mushrooms on it, which is really cute. So we'll use those. Let's see. Where's the end of it? Here it is. I never know what to use washi tapes on because it's not the best tape on the planet, but I like that it doesn't stick very hard, so that whenever you pull it up, you're not like running anything. Like I really like that about it. Put that there, make sure it's nice and smooth. I don't think this one's even. There we go. That gives us a little bit more room in there. And I do have splashes of watercolor from other things, but I don't think that's really going to hurt anything, so I'm just going to go for it. Right. Kuritakis are awesome. Makes me mad because with the tariff situation, it's really made it hard to get a hold of, in my opinion, because the shipping on it's so damn expensive now. Like I wanted to get the granulated ones because I was watching Janet M. Young, and she has these beautiful granulated ones that I really want in their Kuretake, and I went to put it in my cart and the shipping on it was atrocious, like $20 or something like that to get to me for some reason. So I don't know. I'll try again soon and see if maybe the shipping's gone down, but I definitely don't want to pay $20 for something. Like on top of what it already is. Because that kind of stuff's not cheap. Scooch this over a little bit. Uh, there we go. That way it just gives it some weight so that it stays down. All right, so let's use a cheapy brush. So this is just a cheapy Craft Smart brush, and we're gonna take our masking fluid and start applying it. I'm gonna shake it up real good because I haven't used it in quite a while, like a couple months. So hopefully it still works. And then I'm going to attempt to get these trees in line like the other one. Oh, this is not my open one. Let me find the open one. I think it's up here too. Yeah, here it is right here. This one should be open. Oh, my favorite now. The silly heart symbols in the way. All of my fave time right now are M. Graham. Is that a type of paint? Like a type of watercolor? Or what is that? I've never heard of it. Oh, hi! How are you doing? Gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. Good to see you. We're watercoloring today, so we are watercoloring out of Inga Buividavice's new book, Landscapes. So I'm going to try to do a demo of one of her projects and see how it ends up going. Oh yeah, this is kind of old. It's got crusties in it. Ew. But hopefully it'll still work. We're going to try anyway, and if not, this is an old brush. So if it gets gross, I'm not entirely concerned about it. I'm going to throw it away afterwards. So she's got just like a small bunch of trees here. So I'm going to put that down there. It's just like a grouping of them. And some of the trees are a little bit thicker than the others, so I'm going to try to thicken that one up a little bit. Okay, Keeks, I've been following you on Instagram and your next tattoo is amazing. Oh, thank you. Yes, I really loved that. My previous mentor actually did it for me. Um Actually, after the first of the year, I ended up deciding not to continue with my tenure as an apprentice, just because, I mean, I feel like, I know this sounds like kind of sad, but I feel like I'm not good enough to do it. Like, you have to be able to draw super fast and draw anything that somebody asks for. And I was really struggling with my perfectionism because I feel like I wasn't doing very good at doing that. And then I was like, am I even an artist? Like, do I know how to draw? Like, what's happening right now? And it just like kind of put me in like a bummed out sphere. But then I ended up getting a new job at work where I basically got promoted to being an auditor. And I think that's pretty much saved me in my career path because I really love it. And it has to do with dental. And I have always worked in dental um, throughout my tenureship of insurance. So I'm really happy with it so far. And my trainers have been great. But I still keep in touch with them at the tattoo shop. Like they're all still my friends and stuff. And I go down there and hang out with them every once in a while too. But yeah, so I decided that that wasn't really for me, but it's okay, because that means I have more time with you guys because I wasn't able to make all those videos. Because remember, for a while, for like 2 months, I didn't make any videos. Um, so I feel like it kind of ended up trading out and being fine. So, but thank you for asking about it. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can save this brush by dipping it in some water. Let it soak for a while. There we go. And this is just Art Masking Fluid by Dofuk. Um, it's just the cheapest one that's on Amazon, if I'm honest. So, and it comes with two of them, so you get pretty much a lot of it. Let's see, watercolor. Oh, watercolor brand made with honey. That sounds cool. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, you're drawing on people's skin and they move around and stuff. I did do two tattoos though, which I'm very proud of. I did two fish, both on my husband. The first fish was kind of looking, but the second fish, I could actually tell what kind of fish it was. And my mentor was extremely impressed with my second tattoo. So, I mean, it's not all a loss. Like, I feel like I did a really good job. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to hit this with the heat gun, so it might get a little, might get a little loud. I do not have a noise canceling device because I'm not that efficient. Um, and I have paint falling all over me, of course. So I'm going to give you guys a second to turn your speakers down. That way I don't make you deaf. And then we will go ahead and kick this puppy on. Oh, I absolutely get that. I understand if not working for your mental health, then let it go. Yeah, it just, I'm always somebody who's always struggled with mental health problems, and I could just see it going down a path that I didn't want to go down. So I just thought it was best to give it up. But I'm so happy that I tried, and I'm really proud of myself for putting myself out there, especially because we've only lived here for well, it'll be almost a year in July. And I haven't really made any friends here. Because like I work from home, so I don't really get out much. Really, I talk to you guys the most. And I've been trying to put myself out there. I did go to an art meetup a couple days ago, or yesterday actually, and that ended up being really great. And I think I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm finally making friends. Yay. But all my friends are in Kansas City, so I really only get to talk to them if they're playing video games with me or if we call each other. All right, so oops, did not mean to hit the camera. Sorry about that. Um, I am going to start splatting some paint on paper here, and I'm going to very loosely be looking at what she's got going on here. So it looks like she's doing some wet on wet. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some water up here. For wet on wet, that just simply means that the page is wet before you start painting on it. And I am using Arches paper, so it should stand up to all the water just fine. And it looks like they're using kind of a lighter green at the top. So I'm going to try that with my pea green. I'm just using a Hemi #4 round brush. And then what I like to do is just splat it. And then this way you can kind of come in and just kind of do what you got to do. I'm just being real gentle and just tapping it. And see, it's resisting, which is great. There we go. And I think I'm going to make that come down quite a bit more. So I'm going to just rub some water down here. I'm sure that you've told me how to pronounce your name before, but thank you for re-putting it in there. Aoife, that's right. I do remember talking to you. Like, I used to love reading your comments on my videos. Like, they really kept me going. Like, super positive person. Loved them. Let's put a little bit of a darker green up there too. Maybe we can mix in some of this ivy green. That might be fun. Ooh, see, I love it when it fireworks like that. Baby, you're a firework. Get us some Katy Perry up in here. Apparently she's not very popular anymore, but whenever I was a kid, everything was Katy Perry. All right, so we got some of that pretty green in there. And then it looks like that fades into some browns coming up from the bottom. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just adding the water on here. And then let's do a crew beige because I don't want to go too crazy with the browns. Let's see what that does for us. I'm just going to quickly do that and then start doing my little pat pats. I like to hold the brush kind of towards the top when I do my pat pats. That way I'm in less control. So that way the water will do kind of what it wants to do. And it kind of gives it a better look, in my opinion. So I've got that in there. Let's get a little bit of a darker one in there too. Let's do this flax beige. Need some more water. We'll put that towards the bottom. There we go. Give it some pat pats. Okay. And then next, it looks like there's some reds and some different greens going on. I think I'm gonna put the greens in first and then the reds because I feel like that would make a little bit more sense. And I'm okay with it doing this. It's not gonna bother me any because we're gonna be putting green in it anyway. We can say that that's the dirt. So let's see. I'm going to use some of this green gray, but let's go with this cobalt green first. Just to get a lighter shade in there first, because I mean, it's easy to start with light, but not dark. So let's go ahead and get some foliage in here. Sorry about the glare from the light. I see that that's a little hard to see from your angle, but I'm sure as it dries, it'll taper down a little bit. Oh. I think it would be really fun to visit Ireland. I've always wanted to go. My maiden name is Mansell, and apparently there's a ruin of a castle there called Mansell Castle. So I've always wanted to see it. I'd also like to go to England because apparently there's a Mansell Street in England too. Just some things that my grandpa always wanted to do and never got to do, so I'd like to do them. And I'm going to mix in some green gray, which is going to give us some definition in here. Made ATC because I'm fixing my studio so I can make videos more in ATCs. Oh, that's so great. Yay. I love that. You know, we should do an ATC swap at some point. I think, don't you have me on Instagram as well? Like, I feel like I've talked to you on Instagram before. If you ever want to do a trade or something, let me know and I would love to do that. I would be all yours. And if you're interested in Twinchies, like I just found out about Twinchies too, I think last week. My Quiet Corner is the channel's name, and her name is Carol, and she's been making a bunch of Twinchies. Like, I don't have a mod in here, but I think we should be able to put links to stuff in here. I'm not sure. Marty, would you be able to try and see if it lets you put in a link? I don't know if it will or not. Because I know you and I were just talking about her, so that you would be able to find her channel real quick. But yeah, she's been doing Twinchies and I had never heard of them either. And I was like, "Oh my God, those are freaking adorable." But yeah, and she's a lovely lady. I have also traded ATCs with Carol as well, and she's on Instagram and on here, and she seems really nice. I think I might pop a bit of light green up here at the top. I feel like there's stuff missing by the trees I don't really care for. I'm happy that I inspired you. That makes me feel really good. There we go. I think that should be all right. Let's see here. Okay, so the next step is going to be letting this dry for a second. And I think oh, I need to put a mod to put it in. This monitor. Well, Marty, you're my moderator now. Enjoy. I hope you don't mind. I've seen you a mod for other people before, but since I don't know what I'm doing, I just poked your name and put that you could mod if you wanted. Um, let's see here. I think I'm gonna blow dry this. That way we can kind of speed up the process a little bit because I don't think it's too wet. So it should let you do it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that. But yeah, go to her channel. Her channel is great to follow. There we go. I've missed you too. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I wonder how she's doing. So I'm so glad. Apparently, I modded myself. Yeah, yeah, you did. But if you ever don't want to be, just let me know and I'll take it away from you too. Like, I'm not going to force you to do something that you don't want to do. All right, so now what we got to do is we need to erase this. So to do that, we should be able to just take an eraser and it should just come right off. I have an electric eraser. It's kind of dirty though. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up, but we're going to try it anyway. And it'll just peel that stuff right up. Just like that. You can also take your fingernail and just kind of peel it up. What it is it's latex. So if you're allergic to latex, just be mindful. I'm sure that there's other brands that you could use that aren't latex. But this is latex. So if you're allergic, wear gloves or, get a different brand or something. I'm sure they have different brands. That it just comes right on up and you can just blow it off. Oh, but don't blow it in your paint. No. Maybe I'll move the paint out of the way for a second. um, but yeah, so you can just kind of come in here and look at how nice and white that's getting now. Gosh, this is going a lot faster than I thought it was going to. Um, I may end up doing more than one because of that. I've also got colored pencils in here so we can go in and do some little detail work too. There we go, just like that. Like that. What's the other link that you put in there, Marty? It doesn't show me the full link, so I wasn't sure. There we go. That looks better. Get all that stuff. I'm gonna have to vacuum in here. I'm covered in eraser stuff now. That gets most of it off. Looks like there's just a tiny bit right here. Like that. Okay, so we can bring the paint back now because I'm pretty sure that we're not going to get any more of the eraser in it. Like that. And then it says, when the painting is completely dry, peel the masking fluid off and use credit card marks to create the texture in the birch tree. That's interesting. Credit card. Do I have a credit card in here? I don't know about that. I might have. Let me look in my drawer goodies. I have this thing. We could probably use that as a credit card. So I think what they're talking about is like painting the edge of it and then going like this with it. Like I think that's what it's talking about. So we're going to try that and see what happens. So let's use a lighter color first. I'm going to use this flax beige. For some reason, it's not taking me to Carol. Really? That's weird. Oh, is it because you don't have the dashes in it? Because on my side it just says My Quiet Corner without any of the dash marks in it. That's kind of difficult to do. Because see, now it's getting all over those things. And if you smear it, you smear it. Huh. Interesting. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. But because it's in the directions, I'm going to do it. And if anything, we can say that there's motion happening in the forest. There we go. I've got in those little dashy marks now, and I'm going to wipe this off so I don't stain it. And then let's use a darker brown, like maybe some beige gray. Hey there, how you doing, Cranky Crafter? So let's go ahead and try a different color in there and see what it's going to do, because I think that was just beige flax. It looks like there's several different colors in the one that they did. So I want to try that. That color is almost exactly what I just used. You know what? I probably bet it is the color that I just used. So let's use yellow brown instead. So I'm just once again painting it on the tip of this thing because I don't have a credit card on me right now. Wasn't expecting to have one. Just gonna do that. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let those dry a little bit. And then you're supposed to put some shadows in there too. So I think we can build up some of the greenery that's around the trees now that we can see where the trees are at. Or even put some more flowers in, like maybe up here towards these trees, we can put in some pink flowers. That could be fun. You can just work on the foreground a little bit. I've yet to get comfortable with these Kuretake paints. They're much more opaque. They are. They kind of remind me of somewhere between a gouache and a watercolor. I really like them. I actually usually use them over watercolors. So if you ever want any tips or tricks, I would really recommend Janet M. Young's YouTube channel. Janet M. Young is a watercolor, almost exclusively watercolor artist. She also does a lot of like Zentangles. Every year she also does a like what do they call those where you have to find a bunch of things? Oh no, it has left my mind. Scavenger hunt, scavenger hunt. She does a scavenger hunt every year as well. They do feel sticky. I would strongly recommend putting some type of paper between your pages because what can happen is your pages can stick. The other thing I'll show you that Gansai Tambis do as well is if you accidentally get them too thick in an area, they get glossy. Like, let me see. That one that I did that was supposed to be, yeah, here we go. So I'm going to kind of go like this, and you can see here, here, and here, it's too thick. So it got a little glossed. So just be aware, if you get them too thick, you get kind of a weird glossiness out of it. But I do like them. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Maybe some blue flowers too. I'm feeling flowery. What color do I want? Light blue? I think light blue would probably look better. Just stick a couple of little dots in between there. So I love like a forest that has a bunch of flowers. It makes me feel like it's kind of like a Disney forest. And everybody loves a good Disney forest. Some magical like fairy tale land. I can't believe it. My kindergartner graduates kindergarten in 10 days. I'm gonna have a first grader. I'm so sad. I'm happy for him to continue on, but I'm just like, why are you so old now? Why are you no longer my little baby? I need you to be a baby, damn it. So that means I'm getting old too. But yeah, he's a good kid though. He's been doing really great. He has been a math whiz, weirdly enough, because I was never a math whiz. But he found this cartoon called Number Blocks, and he's in kindergarten and knows how to do multiplication now. So I'm like, yes, please bring more of those cartoons in the house. Please do. How is this drying up top? I know blowing on it doesn't really do any good, but I don't want to use the heat gun again. Number one, because of your poor ears. But also because I don't want it to splat these like new drops that I just put in on it. I think I'm going to use some of this Venetian red. And on hers, they kind of have like little spots on the trees. So I'm just going to lightly tap the tree trunks. That's going to have to dry a little bit more because it's not letting me tap anything right there. But yeah, I would strongly recommend Janet's channel, which Marty just put in for me. Thank you. She streams on Mondays and it's noon my time, which is Central Time. So I think it's 11 her time. But yeah, she does really great work. And if you're into the Zen, she is Zen. And she's got a good personality too. She's spicy. Spicy Janet, spicy. She'd probably laugh at me for telling people that. Go. Getting some droppy drops there. That way these trees have a little bit more going to them than just the credit card swipes, which I do like them. So now what we need to do is we need to go up to the top. And after, I'm going to go ahead and put some leaves in, and then we'll save the branches for last because we do need to put some little tiny branches in too. So let's go back to this green gray that we used at the bottom. And we're just going to make some like little dotty dots. And that's just going to help our foliage out a little bit. And if it wants to mix in there, that's okay. It'll just be more interesting. So I think that gives us some good dotty dots. And let's use some of that ivy green up there too. I might use a corner of a paper towel for that little mark though. Let me see. Never fear, paper towel is here. Let it slurp it up a little bit. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Yes. She does put butts on things. I actually had to laugh because one of those journals that I was showing yesterday, one of the pages I keep wanting to put a pig butt on this one picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick because I have these right next to me. Today I went through and I actually put like little page protectors on them. So that way if I accidentally tug too hard on a page, it won't rip the old paper. But there's this one picture in here, like towards the middle somewhere, where it's just begging for a butt to be put on this poor pig. I'm gonna say it's towards here somewhere. Let's see. When I was putting this back together after I did that. I know it's on one of these older pages, so I'm trying to look at the old pages. Watch, I won't be able to find it now that I want to see it. Is it really this far back? No. There's a picture of that pig sitting on like a ladder. This one, this I believe needs to have a butt on it. Because every time I flip this page, if I didn't know those were feet, I would think that there was a butt sticking out there. So I think eventually I'm going to edit this page to where it just has a nice big butt on it. And I'm going to say it's an homage to Janet. Because I don't know why I just keep seeing that page and I'm like, that looks like a butt. We need a butt on that page. Let's see here. All right, so I think it's safe to use my heat tool again. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so that's pretty dry now. So then we need to take a skinnier brush. Let's see, what do we got here? Wow, that's a very tall brush. I don't think I'm going to be using that one. I know one of these is just like a regular. This one's okay. Let's do one of these and then we can kind of play around with putting some little branches on it. Let's use the darker brown. Here, I'm going to use this bigger paintbrush to plop the water on the page. There we go. Stir that puppy up a little bit. Right, that should work. Oops. I'm going to try to come up like this. Add some branches. We'll say these trees are just really, really close together over here because that's kind of how she's got them in the picture. And then she just has like a ton of twigs coming out of them. So we're going to do that too. And just kind of have a little bit of fun. And some of them I'm going to have overlap a little bit. Something kind of like that. Yeah. I like that color. That color is really pretty. It's called Venetian red, but it don't look red. It probably just has a red tone or something. Sometimes I look at the names of colors, I'm like, I wouldn't have put it that. I wouldn't have named it that. There we go. Let's put some down here. I'm trying to make sure that the branches are a little varied and that there's some thin branches in there too, because I think that's also important. To have some branches that aren't quite there, but you can tell it's a branch. Because otherwise, it'll just look like a big old naughty mess. Well, I like to be naughty. I don't want to be messy and naughty. And there are some trees that I'm sure are like that. There we go. And what we'll probably do is after this, after I dry this and take the tape off, we'll try one of the water ones because I am jonesing to try one of those. That looked awesome. We'll see what it ends up looking like. It is a brown with a red undertone, I agree. So I would have called it something brown, but I guess you can only have so many browns. There we go. I think that looks pretty cute. And I think it's pretty true to what she had in the pictures, which makes me very happy. Let's see here. I'm just cleaning up my little brush. Those little brushes are not really meant for watercolor. I just use it for them anyway because they're so small. So let's see what we have ended up with here. And remember, this is what hers looks like originally. So we're kind of looking for something similar to this, but in our style, because we're cool. And we don't want to copy. So let's see here. I'm gonna turn the page too and see if she adds anything else to it. She doesn't. Okay. She just says remove the masking tape and dry. So I'm actually, let's dry first and then remove the masking tape because I have some of it on the masking tape and I don't want to ruin it. Yeah, that's dry enough. All right, and then let's pull our tape. And this is just simply masking tape. Ooh, a little bit of it bled underneath, but that's okay. Well, that looks pretty. I like that. Yeah. So let me go ahead and write some information on that because anytime I try a project from a book, I like to put what the project was from. So this is Inga Buividavice, Buividavice Landscapes. And then I'm going to put my initials and the date. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see, today is May 3rd. Of 26. All right. So that's our first painting down, which is good. Ooh, it feels so textured. That's fun. I am not worried about ruining this other picture here. This picture is entirely done in pen. So if it rubs off some color on that picture, it's not going to make me sad or anything like that. So we're just going to go ahead and flip to the next page. I will definitely need to use clips on this because otherwise it's going to stick up and I don't want that. So let's go ahead and clip it down. Oh, actually, you know what? We need to tape first and then flip it down. So let me tape it real quick and then we can get ready for the water one. Okay. I don't know why I just like pet my paper like that. That was kind of silly. I was just like, flutter fingers. There you go. I see somebody else has joined us because it says that we have a +1. So to those who are in the balcony, hello, welcome. Thanks for visiting. I used to always sit in the balcony too, so I understand. Let's see. There we go. All right. So we've got that in there. And then I want to do one of these water ones because I've never really tried to paint water before. I paint it, but it's usually like in a lake setting, so there's no motion to it. We'll put it that way. So yeah, I've painted it, but it's not that it's anything fascinating. Um, so we're looking in here, and there was a section for water. You could try something like this. This doesn't look terribly hard. It just looks like, let's see, on wetted areas, the lake reflection tried to roughly mimic the same as, okay, so she's not using, she didn't use the white paste stuff there, but I think I'm going to, just because I'm not confident that I can get that bridge in there without it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a bridge, but I'm going to do it with that white stuff, um, with the masking fluid. So I'm going to shake her up. Yeah, I want to say that I'm sub to Cranky Crafter also. I feel like I found them just recently too. I've been finding a lot of people lately. Like I've been trying to branch out so that I can see different artists and stuff. Ew, there's a giant clump of it. We don't want that giant clump of rubber. Get out of there, giant clump. Ew. Just ew. Have you ever seen Jimmy Fallon whenever they're dressed like girls and he goes, just ew, ew. And we're gonna do something that mimics a bridge. At least I think that's a bridge. It's in the middle of the water, so I'm not sure why you would want a bridge in the middle of the water, but it looks cool. I probably wouldn't walk on it. I think that's probably enough latex on it. Yeah, of course. We all gotta support each other. The more art I can find, it's perfect because I've like I said a little while ago, I usually work from home. So whenever I'm working from home, I need things to listen to. So I listen to all the live streams. And actually, yes, these are some scissors that I use to get that pretty edge. You can get scissors like this on Amazon. I've honestly had these scissors since I was a little kid. My grandma got them for me at the thrift store she used to manage. So I honestly don't know where these particular ones came from, but I do have a ton more of them and they came from Amazon. All right, let me take a drink real quick. Ah, fresh water. Yum. Okay. So on this one, oh, is this dry? We better dry that real quick. There we go, that's better. All right, so it looks like there's some plants underneath it. So we're gonna go ahead and put a couple plants, and those plants are kind of a light green. There we go. And to me in the picture, they just kind of look like little marks like that. So that's what I'm gonna do there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wet the bottom of this page here. I'm gonna let it flow wherever it wants to. I work from home while starting to, hence the studio build. Took a big leap on it. Oh, wonderful. Hey, congratulations. I really respect that. That's so cool. So you said you have a studio build. What kind of studio is it? I think all of this is supposed to be water. Oops, got a piece of eraser there. Go away, eraser. Right. And then it kind of looks like this Mars yellow under the bridge. So we'll do that. Let it kind of fade out. But we want it to kind of circle like that so that we're getting that bridge mimic. And then there's a bit of a darker green, so it's like an other one. So I'm going to put a little bit of ivy green right here in the wetness of the wilds, so that way it does turn at least a little green. And then looks like, I hope that's enough water that's in there. Looks like there's a lighter like pea green again. I'm simply just looking at hers and trying to figure out how to mimic it. That's not wet enough. So this is gonna all be water because honestly, water. Oh, you're making watercolor paints and eco resin stuff. Ooh, do you have a website or anything yet? That sounds right up all our alleys. I'm a trained cosmetic chemist. Well, my goodness, you have an interesting life. Well, good luck with that. That sounds awesome. Then we need to do a reflection of some trees. So we'll use this kind of darker. Whoa! Did you see that? It just like flipped out. No. Tells me I didn't have enough water. Not gonna lie, I've never seen the bottom of those before. I've never taken them out of the thing. So let's get some tree like shapes in here. Just gonna get them a little scruffy. Just like that. And then let's put a little bit of a hint of something else in here. Yeah, let me know when you get that going, and I wouldn't mind like popping that in my video descriptions at some point and just being like, hey, go look at my friend's stuff. Now we're starting to get kind of soupy, so we got to watch it. But maybe those are some tall trees that are over there, so it'll be okay. And then we need to have a line of dry, so just the lightest of lines. And then use our wetness to go above it. Like that. And then I'm going to tap a little bit of orange in there. Just kind of tap it. And then some of that pea green again. Yeah, of course. Of course I would. Yeah. Just let me know when, and you can always message me on Instagram, like, so that way I have the proper link for it, or whenever we're in a live at some point, if you happen to be live with your website, um you can let us know, and I would be more than happy to do that. Like I said, your comments meant a lot to me whenever I was kind of in a tough headspace. Because there was a point where I wasn't sure if anybody was watching my videos, and I was just kind of like depressed about it a little bit. But then one day your comments came along, and my goodness, I felt like I was the bee's knees suddenly. I was like, yay, somebody is out there that cares. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing something to give back. Here we go. Something kind of like that. With watercolors, they're messy, and you're going to have weird stuff like this happen. Um, Welcome to watercolors, I guess that's all I can say. So we're gonna need to dry this again. I'm a little concerned about this strange puddle. Yes, I'm very much all about supporting other artists. There was a lady that was in here yesterday. Her name is Mindy, and she actually made these really cool journals that I ended up buying from her. And I bought them in person. There's a shop that's called the Shops at 1050, Shoppes, the at symbol 510, and it's in Dupo, Illinois, which is a little train town. And when their shops open, she sells her little crafty books. And I think that's pretty cool. Let's see, I was going through it with work going back and forth with leaving and doing my own stuff, and your videos were just around at the right moment, and I loved your vibe. Aw, that's so great. I'm really glad that I helped you out like that. That makes me feel really good, Aoife. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this with the heat. Oh, I am the bee's knees. Thank you. Bzzz. That's my bee sound. I am actually in Missouri. So I'm in Lake St. Louis, Missouri, which is about 40 minutes from Illinois. And I had been invited to a craft grouping, a group there that meets on the first Saturday of the month. Um, and that's how I met them. And I met Heel Canine Lynn there. She's who invited me from here on YouTube. And it was really cool. So there was her, Mindy, which is the girl that made those journals. And then there was a lovely lady named Veronica there too. And she was I want to say, what is that called? Crocheting? Yeah, she was crocheting blankets and stuff. It was really cool. And then her daughter was there, and she was like painting shelves and stuff. So they literally just bring all their craft supplies there, and you can do like whatever you want. I just brought my plein air supplies because I wasn't sure what to bring, but I think next time I go, I'm going to bring my craft journals and I'm gonna bring some ephemera to share with them, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, I'm gonna turn on the heat gun, so plug your ears. Geronimo! Gotcha. I was born and raised in Illinois. I've since moved, but I love meeting people from back home. That's cool. I think it's funny, like, if I had a teacher who was in 4th grade, I wanna say, and she was very big on pronouncing Illinois without the S, and I think she's the only person I've ever heard, pronounce Illinois that way because all the rest of the Missourians say Illinois. So I always have a fun time correcting other Missourians. Like, I met a person from Illinois and it's in Illinois, yada yada. I don't say it all spoofy like that, but you know. Because isn't it French or something like that? Okay, so that's dry now. So what she did is then she started adding details to it. And this one doesn't have a sky. Instead, it has like flecks of paint. So we're gonna leave the flecks of paint for very last. Um, but let's go ahead. Let's see here. At this point, I think we also need to remove this stuff. So let me move this out of the way again so I don't get erasers in my paint. And let's go ahead and peel off this eraser, or peel off this masking fluid. All right. So that looks good. And then whenever we go to paint the bridge will be there, which I think we're actually at that point of wanting to paint in the bridge. So we need a darker brown than the Mars yellow. So we're going to use that Venetian red again. And I'm just going to go ahead and start kind of marking in where this bridge is. And we'll add other colors to it here in a minute after it dries. Like I said, not sure why we have a bridge in the middle of the water, but it's a really cool picture and I just wanted to do it. There we go. We can do it like that because then there's a bunch of plants that come up and you won't even be able to see that part anyway. So we've got that going on, and then in the background there's like the top of a house popping up. So let's try to get that in there too. And it looks like with the house, it's kind of like blues and grays. So I'm going to use this grayish blue here. And then I'm going to very gently put in like the roof of a house here. And it looks like there's a couple of roofs. So I'm going to put another one right here, right next to it, looking like it's going to go behind the tree line. Like that. Mhm. And then while we're waiting for that to dry, we can kind of work on some of the ripples in the water. And also putting in some details up in these top trees too. That's why I was kind of okay with this going up there because I knew we were going to cover it anyway. So let's see, for the ripples in the water, kind of need, because I went so dark, we kind of need like a lighter color. This is where I say, I'm not an expert, I'm sorry. I don't know how to make water. But I'm gonna try and I'm gonna love it. Mostly because I love making a mess with paints. All right. And then let's kind of make a little bit of a mess over here too with the opposite colors. Do kind of like what water does whenever it ripples a little bit. Like, darn if I don't love rubbing some paint on paper, even if it makes nothing. Love it. Lately, I've been taking my Neocolors and just scribbling circles on them and then watercoloring with them. I'm just enjoying some of the random shapes they make. Doesn't always pop out as anything, but boy, is it fun. I like to see how the colors melt together. And then we can work on some of our trees up there. Our bridge is getting drier, so we'll be able to play with that here in a minute. This technique is called wet on dry. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just kind of gently dabbing it. That way it just kind of gives us a little bit of depth. I love Neocolors. I have like 3 of them. They're so pricey. Okay, so I actually have a hack for you. Go on Amazon and there's a different brand called iCrown, and iCrowns are half the price of Neocolors and work almost exactly the same. I tested them in one of my videos. You'll have to figure out which video it is. But one of my videos, I actually tested the difference. It was like something like iCrown versus Neocolors. And for the most part, they work pretty darn similar and they are half the price. So like what it costs to buy 10 Neocolors, you get like 25 of those instead. Um, so that's what I would suggest. I am kind of crazy, like maybe a little bit irresponsible with money, but I have almost every color of Neocolor, including the anniversary editions. The only set that I don't have is the set of like 81 of them, but I have the set that's under that. Um, I couldn't splurge on the 80. Sometime on a birthday or something if I get some money. Or maybe next tax season I'll be like, I'm gonna get these. But like, I splurge when necessary, you know? um, but yeah, I would definitely look into iCrown. I think they're fabulous and I think the price is really worth it. The only difference I've really noticed is with Neocolors, you can get the mark to completely melt to where you no longer see the Neocolor anymore. And with the eye crown, you always will see a slight mark, but I mean, that's nothing. If you're a scribbly artist, it's gonna be fine. Like, it won't hurt anything. And I kind of feel like with Neocolors, you have to scribble a little bit. Oh no, we've got some leakage. I thought that was dry. It's okay, we're gonna mix it until it goes away. Go away, other color. Or we'll just let it bleed and say that it's an interesting house and fix it with colored pencil. That's probably what I'm gonna do. good to know because I've never used Neocolors and wondering if I should bother. I would bother. I think they're a lot of fun. A lot of my little notebooks are full of Neocolors. Do I have one sitting here? I have one sitting here because I want to turn this one into a painting at some point. Because I really like what this one looks like, but this was all colored with Neocolors. All of these are Neocolors. So, and all of them, like some of them I have it where I've just left the Neocolor. Um, and some of them I have it painted into where it's just watercolory. But yeah, like Neocolors are fun. And they have that like childlike play to them, but yes, I would bother. Don't deprive yourself. I'm such a Neo snob. I'm sorry, I love them. I would marry them if I could. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't marry them. My husband goes, "How much have you spent on those?" I was like, I finally told him, and he was like, "Oh, wow." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I couldn't not. I'm sorry. I have a problem." I love Neocolors. Don't send yourself to the poorhouse over it. Get the eye crown. They're the same thing. They're just cheaper. Yes, I'm an enabler. I'm sorry. I get that from Dee Dee. Like, Dee Dee Willingham is who basically inspired me to stream anyway, and she enables people all the time, so it's my turn. She's the reason why I have a book called The Bee's Knees that I'm not sure what I'm gonna use it with. I made postcards with them, but now I'm like, okay, what else am I doing with bee's knees? I just got Neocolors for my birthday. I'm having fun with them. I absolutely love your picture that you sent me. Like, I thought the expressions on those animals were awesome because I struggle with expressions. They were so cute. Yes, The Bee's Knees is a collage book. Do I have that sitting around me somewhere? I see parts of it laying around. This came from The Bee's Knees. Let me see here. It's definitely got to be sitting over here if I've got pieces of it. Let me see. Uh, the Bee's Knees. Where are you? Bee's Knees, Bee's Knees. How do you lose an entire book, Keisha? Bee's Knees, Bee's Knees. Hmm. I seem to have misplaced my Bee's Knees. But it is a collage book that you can get on Amazon. I believe it's from Collage Soup. And it has really awesome pictures that are bee related. I'm like looking around here because I know I just cleaned up a little bit yesterday because after my live stream I threw a bunch of stuff all over the floor. So I was trying to get through things in a hurry. Um yeah, I don't see it laying around now, but I have it somewhere. It's around. But yeah, I saw Lori on the live and she had the bees knees thing. Yeah, she does have them. I actually was just, she told me to check out her video with her bee journal and I did. That is exactly the book that it's from, and she was enticed by Dee Dee to buy it too. Because I mentioned that to her and she goes, "Yeah, that Dee Dee." Dee Dee gets us all. Let's see here. So what else can we do? Let me grab, oh yeah, we got to make some plants up here because we're missing some plants. And you know what? This looks weird without a sky. I don't know that I want to do the sky the way she has it. Might go against that a little bit. We'll see. Let's do shadow green. We haven't done that green yet, and I think that would really stand out. So with that, she just has it to where it's just a plant kind of going up. And it's like a tall, dark plant. I'm going to do that, and then maybe I'll add a little bit of a lighter green in it. Yeah, they did. You should post those if you haven't already. I haven't gone to check yet, but you should definitely post those on your Instagram. Like, I think people would really enjoy seeing that. There we go. And what I might do is I might do like a hint of sky. I feel like a hint of sky wouldn't hurt. So I just feel like that looks weird there. And especially if we're going to have a border on this, why not add a bit of sky? So I'm just going to like lightly mark it in. Try not to run over this plant. And then add some water to it so that it kind of softens it a little bit. Ugh, this house is killing me, small. We will re-put in that house with colored pencil because that ain't it, kid. Get out of there. Have you guys ever seen a chorus line before? It's a musical, and the one of the songs goes, "That ain't it, kid. That ain't it, kid." That's where I got that from. So I'm not calling you guys kids. I'm just quoting musicals because I'm a nerd. It's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and get some colored pencils in here. And we can start throwing some details in. Here's my colored pencils down here. Do I want to use those or do I want to use my nice ones? Let's splurge and use the nice ones. Um, so for my birthday this year, I splurged as one tends to do, and I got myself some polychromos. So we're gonna use those. So let's get rid of the watercolor. I'll put these guys down here instead. Otherwise, I would just be using a bunch of Prismacolors, because that's what I've had since I was a kid, is Prismacolors. I remember the first time I bought my set of 300 Prismacolors when I was like in high school still, and I like color coded all of them in my grandparents' living room, and my grandparents thought I was insane. They were like, "Why do you need so many?" I was like, "You don't understand colors. You need all the colors." So I've only ever used, it looks like, 3 of these. So I've used this purple, that purple, and this green. I haven't used any of the rest of them. So let's dry this real quick, and then we're going to use these guys because they look like they need to be used. Gotta be careful with that because sometimes it looks like it's not dry and then it is dry because it's got that like glossy look. That's the only thing I don't like about the Kuritakis. Other than that, I love them to pieces, but boy, is that weird. Okay, so let's start with, let's add some white to the water. Like if we added some white to the water, like some white little scrapies, it's gonna make the water look better. Ooh, that's interesting. It's a little gummy there. And I'm using the side of the pencil because what it's doing is it's giving me like a grit. If I wanted a concise line, I could do this, and that's fine. Which now that I've done that, I'll put that in a couple of places. But I really just wanted kind of like the idea of a shimmer. That's gummy there. And then we're gonna put a lot back here on this tree line. So that looks like the water is kind of splashing up on that tree line. Like that. And then put some around here. And this. So that way the water looks like it's live. Because we want lively water. We don't want boring water. And then let's get a green. And I think I'm going to sharpen this green so that's pointy. I have an electric sharpener sitting up here. And then we're just going to kind of lightly draw in some lines and give this plant some life. See, that just kind of livens it up just a little bit. And then we can also put in a few lines in here. Not many, just a few. Just enough to give it some texture. And then we can take a different green and do the same thing. I kind of end up going for like the grassy greens, which is funny because I've noticed that a lot of my fellow artists don't like grassy green, but I don't mind it. I think it's kind of a fun green. Like, I'm not really striving for super realism, you know what I mean? So I don't mind if there's a color in there that's not really conductive of nature. I mean, never had a problem with it when I was a kid, kind of thing. This part right here is gummy, so it's not going to let me do that. See, it got too thick with the kuretake is what happened there. Kind of like this one little spot right here, but I don't think those are going to be super noticeable, so I'm not really worried about it. Let's fix this house situation up here. So what color is this? This is in dark indigo. So let's use that for the roof. I got these so that I could use them on top of my pan pastels. So at some point I'm going to have to bring my pan pastels out. Not tonight, but you know, a night. Let's use this purple. What is this? This is light ultramarine. What am I doing with the really expensive pencils? Putting them in the wood chipper. It's fine. This is fine. And then let's use that same hue, dark blue, and make some little essence of windows here. So it just kind of gives it a look like there's something going on with that house and it's not just a random house. And then let's use this one. This one is called Raw Umber. I'm just gonna kind of go like this with it. So that our little bridge stands out a little bit more. Like that. I feel like we need something right here. Maybe we need plant matter. This set doesn't really have a dark green, I would say. So we are going to commit cardinal sin and we are going to use black. And just do like shadow here. And I say that's a sin because a lot of artists don't like using black for whatever reason, because you can make darker colors with it, really. You don't need the black. But I don't really care. I didn't go to art school. I just make my own stuff. So I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'll make an art teacher cringe, I guess. Here we go. We needed something in there because it wasn't looking right. We could put a little bit more of that white over here. That way it looks like it's brushing up against there. And maybe let's add a bird too. I think a bird would be cute. Do one bird over here and one over here. Just to kind of give it a little bit of pizzazz. Something like that. Oh, you know what? You're probably absolutely right. That probably is a dock instead of a bridge. It looks a lot like a bridge in her picture, if I'm honest. Um, so let's take a look here and see what we've got. My book popped closed, but I'm sure I can find this page real quick. Here it is. So this little tiny picture right here is what we're striving for. Let me see if I can get it to move up a little bit. Toot, 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 toot. Aha, there we go. Now you can see it. So that's what we were kind of looking to make. So let's see how it ended up. Hmm. I actually really like that. I think that looks pretty good. Here, I'll hold it up so that you can see it a little bit better. Here we go, like that. I think it looks pretty good. Thank you. Yes, peeling off the tape is my favorite thing. I absolutely love how it looks because, like, it just changes everything, you know what I mean? Plus, I really like sometimes I will put in, like, the colors that I use, like, sometimes I'll do little swatches to the side, but I almost always like to sign and print it, like, right there at the bottom. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna put that this is from Inga Buividavice's, landscapes. Landscapes. Today's the 3rd. Plus, it's nice to see how much you've improved, like, whenever you add dates. I think oh, you do think it's a dog? Okay. Aw, thank you. It is, yeah, I have, like, a whole bucket of cute washi tapes. I have some ugly ones too, but I can't bring myself to use them. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably donate some of them. But I'm gonna hold this up one more time, so that you can see it. And then I'm gonna flip back to where's the other one? Oh, the other one's right here. So this is the other one that we did. So yeah, I would call this a successful art day, if I do say so myself. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and leave you because it's about time to put my son to bed. But if you joined me today, I'm really happy that you guys were here. I really had fun talking to you guys. And it's so nice to see new friends and old friends and all kinds of stuff. Oh, you've been following Camilla Damso Bricks and dated your book. Love seeing how far you've come. Yes, see? Just putting your dates on stuff, like, you can just go back and see. Plus, sometimes I find that I look at my paintings and I'm like, "Wow, how did I do that?" It kind of, like, encourages me whenever I see my work that I could, maybe if I'm having, like, not a great art day, that I can make things. So it's just kinda nice whenever you surprise yourself with things like that. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much. And if you're a subscriber or if you're thinking about subscribing, thank you. If you could please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, I'd really enjoy that. Oh, it's 2 a.m. for you. Oh my goodness, go to bed. You need to go to sleep. I really am happy that you came, but go to sleep. Um, but thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.